All right. So we have Ian Gloria in the building. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You?
I'm doing pretty good. I appreciate you coming through and chopping it up with us.
Anytime.
Dope, dope, dope. So, before we discuss anything, let's just do a quick temperature check. How you feeling? How you doing?
I'm feeling great. Just been working.
Dope, 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 dope. It's always good to work and, keep putting in that consistency and pain. So let's start from the jump. You're originally from Scarborough, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. Kind of explain how growing up in Scarborough is or was when you were coming up. Like, explain what influenced you, the things that you liked about the area, the things that you don't like about the area.
So growing up in Scarborough, I love the community there.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had. So I grew up around Kennedy Commons. That's my area. So normally, I would play ball all the time with my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the Ellesmere guys. But
Shout out to them.
yeah. So we would always have our runs, always have fun. It was just a day-to-day thing. Every summer, I would tell my mom, I'm gonna go play basketball. Okay, she's like, okay, be safe. So we'll go there, we'll play ball, and yeah, it was always good vibes, of course. And growing up there, the community there is really nice. Although it has its moments and there's like a lot of negativity there sometimes, a lot of people try to bring you down. I never really looked at it like that. I always looked at it as a positive way. Okay, I always knew I was gonna do something. I just didn't know what I was gonna do. You know what I mean? I always wanted to be that light. I wanted to give a light on Scarborough. I wanted to show Scarborough why Scarborough has a lot of talented individuals.
Dope, dope. And I definitely agree. So, since we're on the topic of, the different things that are going on in Scarborough, the positive and the negative, let's kind of talk about the negative. Like, I feel like there's two sides to every area. There's definitely a positive and a negative. So what kind of kept you out of trouble? Like, Scarborough is known for like, a couple, shootings, you hear robberies, you hear, some other negative stuff that, happens in that part of the city. So, you as a impressionable young man growing up, what kind of, takes you out of that kind of scene and has you focusing on other things?
So normally what kept me out of trouble the most, I gotta give the utmost credit to my mom. Mm-hmm. My mom always kept me out of trouble as a young kid. She would always try to keep me into activities sometimes. Mm-hmm. Like, although it was hard on us, but she always made sure that I was always good. She always tried to make sure I was always being productive. I was doing things. I was going out, so.
No, that's dope.
She always gave me that childhood experience as well.
For sure, for sure. Shout out to mom for that. So growing up in Scarborough, trying to figure out who you are, figuring out things that you do like and things that you don't like. When did, graphic designing become a thing for you?
So when I started graphic design, it was when COVID just hit, right? So as soon as COVID hit, I was like, damn, I'm just gonna be drawing. I was just drawing like regular pictures on paper, using Crayola pencils, everything. Mm-hmm. So I was like, damn, like I don't know what I'm gonna do. COVID hit. I was literally playing 2K. I was literally playing 2K. Like any other kid my age, I was playing 2K during quarantine. Shout out Allen, shout out Noah, shout out Jerome, especially Jerome. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like we had good times. 2K20 carried us a lot too.
For sure. That held you down.
Exactly, held it down during COVID. So, but during COVID, it's just like I was always just drawing.
So, we were talking about like, COVID and playing 2K and, figuring out, how you're going to spend all this time. You were saying you guys kind of moved. So you guys moved. How did that, go into you going from drawing to actually doing graphic designing and illustrating?
So graphic design became a thing when I started doing traditional drawing. I've always been doing traditional drawing since I was younger. I was in the second grade. I used to get in trouble by my second grade teacher for just drawing in class instead of doing homework and all that. Mm-hmm. So it was always something I was passionate about as well, right? Mm-hmm. I was always painting, and drawing things in kindergarten as well. Like
For sure.
I was a lot more advanced for my age.
Yeah, yeah.
So when time hit, like when the time hit to start actually doing something, I had nothing really to do during COVID.
Yeah.
More times I was just playing 2K with a lot of people I'm close with. Shout out Alan. I was literally just playing 2K, playing video games like any regular kid would. So once I got the opportunity to go to graphic design, of course,
Yeah.
I would literally borrow my aunt's iPad. Like my uncle recommended. My uncle Carlos, he would literally tell me, okay, I think you could do something with art. Try drawing shoes on your aunt's iPad. So I was like, okay, I might as well just try something out, you know?
Yeah.
So the first thing I drew was a picture of me, and literally around the world, because it was like my very first one.
Yeah.
A lot of people probably remember this. So it was a picture of me like around the world, my faces, a lot of people I looked up to, and then my grandma who recently passed. She played an important role in that part, so
Yeah.
I included her. So
Dope. Rest in peace to grandma, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, so I added her to the photo.
For sure.
And then my mom was I was gonna make a whole different account for it.
Yeah.
But my mom's like, no, why you gonna do that? Just, it's gonna take a while to go back, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you already have this page, it's already, you have a good amount of following.
Yeah.
So okay, mom, I'm just gonna do it, you know? So I did it. Started blowing up a little. I'm like, damn, okay.
So before you continue, you know how you said, you're at your grandma's house, your uncle recommended it, and then you start using your main Instagram account to kind of put out work, and then describe that point from when you started to it blowing up. Like when you started, were you fire out the gate, or did you get better and better and better and then blow up?
So when I first started, I wouldn't say it's the greatest.
Yeah.
It was pretty good for a first piece of drama, but I wouldn't say it's the greatest compared to now.
All right.
It took a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get where I am today.
For sure.
So, yeah. A lot of people used to make fun of me for it too as well.
Really?
People would tell me, oh, nah, art's gonna get you nowhere. You're not gonna get nowhere with art.
Yeah.
A lot of people would be academically good, but sometimes, like, my grades weren't the greatest, but kids stay in school. But, yeah, most of the time my grades weren't the greatest, but
Yeah.
I always had a
pushed
passion
through.
for art. So I was like, okay, if art's gonna be my niche, I guess,
Yeah.
then I'm just gonna go along with it and see where it takes me. And that's exactly what I did. And
For sure. For sure. Because I feel like, even growing up as young men and females, especially in Toronto, like sometimes it could be hard to figure out like, what you want to do in life. Sometimes you figure out early like you did, or sometimes you figure that out, in your 20s or 30s, or sometimes even your 40s, right? So the fact that you're able to identify that and have the right people in your corner to kind of direct you is definitely fire. So, let's talk about the point where you blew up. What would you just like describe that moment or that point? Like what happened for you to blow up?
I wouldn't necessarily say blow up,
Okay.
but I would more likely say the time where it actually showed me that I'm actually doing something with this,
What was that time?
So when I first started, I was really trying to get noticed by all these rappers, like the people that I listen to as well. I just started off with rap music because it's something that I have an interest in as well, right?
Yeah.
So one time, Charlie B, I seen his page. I was like, okay, he's from Toronto. He's a good person.
Yeah.
So I followed him. I gave him a message to see how it would go. I said, hey, Charlie B, I'm a 14-year-old from Toronto.
Yeah.
I'm a graphic designer. I wanted to make some artwork for him. He said, okay, make me some artwork. So we did it. I did it. I would never forget this day. He's like, give me a call. So I gave him, he's like, yo, I love the artwork. Your artwork's amazing. He's like, how'd you feel if I bring you to the studio to meet with Roy Woods? I was like, no way. And I'm only 14.
Yeah.
So I kind of like didn't know what to do, right?
Yeah,
So
you find out.
So as soon as I did that, I'm like, Mom, Right? I'm like, Mom,
Yeah.
Charlie B wants to bring me to the studio at Roy Woods. And my mom's like, you're underage. She's like, I was like, yeah, I know. Like, I'm only 14, right?
Yeah.
That's not something a regular 14-year-old normally does.
For sure.
So my mom came with me. I brought my mom with me that day. And the rest is history.
Dope. So when you went to the studio with moms and you see Charlie B, you see Roy Woods in one setting, and how was that initial conversation? Was it awkward? Was it cool? Were they showing you love? Like, describe that moment.
So when I was in that studio session, it opened up to my eyes to see what I really want. I loved hearing the music. I loved getting motivation from those guys. I spoke with Roy personally. I asked him, what did he do when he was going through a rough time to make it out? Because just like everyone, I'm just a human as well. I go through things as well.
For sure.
So I asked him, I'm like, what did you do? Like, how did you overcome your struggles to get where you are today?
Yeah.
And he kind of told me. Same with Charlie B. Those guys kind of guided me. Especially, I gotta give credit to Charlie B as well. I wouldn't be where I am as well without Charlie B. Charlie B kind of opened the door for me.
Yeah.
To
all these opportunities.
Exactly, to all these opportunities.
That's dope. Shout out to DJ Charlie B. What's that one advice he gave to you that you kind of hold on to?
One advice he gave?
Yeah.
He told me communication is key, networking as well. He told me communicating is important because it always depends on, like, sometimes you can be late with clients or you can be on time with it. So you just always have to communicate with them, try to make sure you do well. And he said also, one thing that actually stuck with me, he said, always try to figure out what's the next trend. So try to figure out, okay, he told me I was the future. I know what kids like. So if I can do that and try to figure out what the new set of kids will like,
Yeah.
I think I could be able to go far in this industry.
No, that's dope. You know what I mean? And that's, everything that you said and all the advice that he gave you is solid advice. You know what I mean? Everything is valid. So, I appreciate him for, giving you those jewels because very, very important. So, you kind of touched a little bit on, your creative process and your turnaround time and all of that. So, like, kind of walk us through your process. Like, as a client, when a client does come to you and, kind of tells you, hey, Ian, I want you to work on this. What's your process and like, how do you kind of go about it?
Is it possible if you can give me an explanation?
Yeah, for sure. So like, we know that you did the artwork for, DJ Charlie B and Pressa's Glitch.
Correct.
You know what I mean? That was a very, very big song. The artwork is amazing, by the way. So walk us through the process for that. What was the creative process behind that?
So when I first heard the Glitch snippet when Pressa posted it, I was like, okay, this track's hard. I feel like everyone's gonna mess with it. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna make some artwork because I know it's gonna look hard. Because I seen this video. I think it was a Boondocks video.
Yeah.
And Pressa posted it. I'm like, I just took in that Pressa kind of does look like Riley from the Boondocks. I was like, okay, I might just do something with it. I might get creative.
Yeah.
So I did it. And I sent it to Pressa's manager.
Okay.
And then the rest is history. I sent it to Charlie. I sent it to the manager. And then Pressa, he called me. And he's like, what's your number? So I called him. And then, yeah.
So, you can't just skip over that. Like, this is Pressa, one of the hardest artists in the city by far. So when you get that call from Pressa, what's the discussion like?
I'm not gonna lie, like, Pressa, when I first got the call from Pressa, I kind of bugged out. I was like,
yeah.
I tried to keep it cool, but like I kind of bugged out a little because like Pressa was one of the people that I looked up to, especially how he's half Filipino as well, and I'm Filipino myself.
Yeah.
I've been listening to this guy since I was in the 6th grade before anyone else was listening to him.
Early.
All my friends would tell me, Pressa sounds like a girl, Pressa. And like all that. I'm like, no, Pressa's hard, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I remember, I literally I downloaded Novocaine and I made that my alarm. every day for the 6th grade, I would get ready to that song.
Yeah.
Wake up to school, that's the first thing I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was some good times.
So you're on the phone with him, you know what I mean? You guys, what are you guys talking about? The artwork, random stuff? Are you finding out? Like,
So we were just talking about artwork. I just told him like, what do you think about the artwork? And he loved it. He's like, yo, it's hard. And then he's like, send it to Charlie. And then, yeah, the rest is history. We kind of just caught from there. But the funny thing is, when he asked for my number, I was at the movies with my cousin Calvin.
yeah,
We were literally watching Venom 2. That's when it came out.
yeah,
I'm like, somebody just told me to check my phone. Normally, you're not allowed to check your phone at the movie theater.
yeah.
So I just checked my phone. All I see is Pressa Armani. Message. I'm like, yo, there's no way this guy's. And then I click on it, it's like, what's your number? I'm like, yo, that's crazy. I looked at him, I showed him. Because Calvin was the one who put me on Pressa as well.
Okay, shout out to Calvin.
Yeah, and I was in the 6th grade. I heard him playing John Connor. I'm like, yo, what is this? And then he put me on, and then, yeah, that's pretty much it.
No, that's dope. That's dope. And John Connor is like early Pressa, so
Exactly.
that's how you know you're a day one, Pressa fan. So it's dope to see that like 360 moment from like listening to him, like getting ready for school and stuff like that, and then actually working with him. Pretty fire. You did mention one thing that I felt like that was very important. You said you hit up his manager. What kind of pushed you to that direction? Like, what made you say, okay, let me find out who his manager is. Let me hit up his manager instead of hitting up Pressa directly to like facilitate things.
Because I feel like getting to the management is more important than getting to the artist himself, because management takes care of whatever they got going on.
For sure.
So I was already tapped in with his management. So I told his manager, I'm like, okay, is it possible I can make the cover for Glitch? He's like,
Yeah.
do whatever. And I made a concept, made it happen. I'm just glad to be here.
Dope. And you said you already tapped in with them. How so? Like, did you work on previous stuff?
I worked on a previous concept.
Okay.
It was a concept. And then he told something told me to reply to his message, so I replied to it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we worked on a small project, and then, yeah, that was
Just
pretty,
from there,
pretty
right?
much it, exactly.
Dope. So is that how, how you created the glitch artwork? Is your creative process similar with other pieces that you create?
Similar. Okay. Oh, there's a lot of stories with how my projects kind of got recognized as well.
So where do you pull your inspiration from?
I normally get my inspiration from music. Like, it's crazy. I made artwork for Metro Boomin, right?
Dope.
So the first one I made, it was kind of like a flop, so I kind of archived it, right? I didn't really do good. Something told me to remake it. Like my cousin Alan told me, he's like, nah, that one's not it. I'm telling you, remake it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be better. So I remade it, and then I remade it. I posted it.
Yeah.
I was in online class. I believe it was science class.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie, I was sleeping during that class.
Yeah.
I wake up literally from notifications, spamming notification. I check my phone, all I see is Metro Boomin reposted you. I'm like, there's no way Metro Boomin reposted me.
Yeah.
Metro Boomin is like the greatest artist of our generation.
For sure.
Like, he produced so many tracks. Like,
Hits upon hits.
exactly.
For sure.
Yeah, Metro Boomin is one of the people I love.
No, he's definitely a GOAT. So, explain that situation. Like, how you made the art piece for Metro Boomin. He reposted you. What happened from there? Like, did he use the artwork? Was it just showing him showing you love?
And he tagged my name too. My name was huge on that too. So that's when that was pretty nice. That's when Savage Mode 2 dropped as well.
Dope.
So I made the artwork for Savage Mode 2. So that was pretty much it. It was around Halloween time. And then after, I just kept on being consistent. I'm like, okay, let me try something with TJ. People used to always make fun of me for listening to TJ a lot, because TJ was like one of my favorite artists at the moment.
Yeah.
They would just like try to mock me and all that, saying how TJ's like hardest artist. So at the time he was dropping Call on My Phone, right?
Yeah.
So I just made something for it. I kind of made something that matched the vibe of the song.
Yeah.
I posted it. TJ liked the post, and it was kind of crazy. So
Dope.
that's what kind of like sparked me. I'm like, okay, if I can get one of my favorite artists that I've been listening to for the longest time, like, I might as well just do something with it and keep going because I know I can go far with this.
For sure. So would you feel like, would you say that's like one of the things that kind of motivates you and kind of pushes you to move forward?
I wouldn't necessarily the thing that motivates me, but I feel like the thing that motivates me the most is my mom.
Dope.
My mom pushes me the most when it comes to my artwork.
Dope.
She would normally tell me, she's like, okay, do this, do that, you know? So it's one of those. And especially the people around me. You always have to make sure you surround yourself with like-minded people.
For sure.
That's why I try to stick away from the negativity as well.
Yeah.
So that's what kind of makes me who I am.
No, that's dope. You know what I mean? Shout out to the people that are in your corner. Shout out to mom for kind of, directing you in the right path. So let's talk about, the creative industry or like the graphic design world in Toronto. Like, I mean, you're a young man, you're doing your thing, you're bubbling, artists are reposting your stuff, you're working with artists, like you're valid. So with that being said, how are other creatives responding to you? Like, are you able to connect with other creatives? Are people reaching out, showing love? Like,
Yeah, there's a lot of creatives support each other, you know. So, like, there's a lot of people, a lot of graphic designers that are even bigger than me as well, that have worked with other people. But one graphic designer that I gotta give credit to would be Certified Benji.
Okay.
I wouldn't be where I am right now without Certified Benji because Benji, he mentored me. Like, I remember we were on a call till like 5 a.m. in the morning talking about what we should do with our business. You know, Benji's ahead of his time. He's a good person.
Yeah.
He taught me what I should do, what things that he did that helped him to get where he is today.
Yeah.
So I took what's good in that, and I kind of just put it into my story.
And it kind of worked for you, right?
And it worked for me.
How did you connect with Benji?
See, I seen Benji do a City TV interview.
Okay.
I was like, there's no way this guy is getting interviewed at City TV at the age of 17, you know?
That's big.
Exactly. That inspired me. Like, a lot of people in Toronto will look at that and be like, yo, what's wrong with this guy? This guy is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, I looked at it like, damn, like, that's inspiring. I want to be like that one day.
For sure.
As soon as I seen that, I started sketching on my paper, back to thinking everything. I'm like, yo, I'm going to do something with this.
Yeah.
But I kind of like fell off, took a break a little bit.
Yeah.
And then as soon as COVID hit, that's when
You kind of
everything
got
fell
back into
exactly.
things.
And then,
Oh, that's dope. And shout out to Benji for, inspiring people like you to kind of do your thing and kind of, move forward. So, you're doing, right now, is it mainly artwork
yeah.
for like covers and stuff like that?
Right now I'm doing mainly artwork. I can do logos, cover arts, merch designs. I recently worked with Mayo Spencer on his clothing brand Forever Fly.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah.
That's hard. So, with that being said, like, you're working with the clothing brands, you're working with artists when it comes to artwork and stuff like that. What's the evolution like? Well, are you trying to do like wall artwork? Are you trying to do your own clothing brand? Like, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, like, what can we look forward to?
So 2-3 years from now, I see myself being a lot more successful than I am today.
Yeah.
I see myself working with the people I always wanted to work with as well.
Dope.
And I see myself networking a lot. I see myself in LA as well.
For sure. No, everyone in Toronto is trying to live the LA life. So, if that's where it's happening, that's where you should be, right?
Exactly. So I also want to do other things as well. I don't want to stick with graphic design and cover art forever, I always want to branch off into certain things. Like, I'm passionate for fashion as well.
Dope.
So that's something I want to get into.
No, I can definitely see you like getting into that too. And I feel like the skills that you've developed graphic designing is definitely gonna help you,
Exactly. There's a lot of people I look up to when it comes to that industry. There's a lot of people like Virgil,
Yeah.
RIP Virgil.
RIP.
Yeah. Virgil is one of the people that inspired me. I'm like, damn, this guy's like really an icon when it comes to the fashion industry.
For sure.
I kind of want to be. People always tell me like, especially Bundog, he would always be like, you're the future. You're up next. You can be the Virgil of this,
Yeah, for sure. And we're definitely looking forward to that. So like you mentioned Bundog, like how did your relationship with him start?
So, to be honest, I can't even remember that. I think I made a logo for him.
Okay.
He posted, make a logo. So I was like, okay, I'm just make a logo.
So no, man, it's definitely dope how, you're working with all these artists. You're doing your thing in Toronto, and we all appreciate you. So let's just wrap things up. Let the people know what they should look forward to, and drop your socials, and show them some love.
All right, so I want y'all to be looking forward to a lot more things on the way. I can't really say too much, it's a little confidential, but yeah, I want y'all to be looking forward to me. You're gonna see my face a lot more. I want to thank you guys for having me. It means a lot, and it's my first interview as well. So looking forward to being a lot more. I just really want to be a light in my city for the young kids. I also want to leave a message for the kids as well. I just don't want you guys to give up. I know it gets hard as well, but there's a lot of kids. I feel like they need someone to look up to that's actually doing what they love. So I want you guys to keep doing what you love. Don't let anyone get between you and your goals, you and your creation. Yeah, that's the best I could say. But thank you guys for having me. It means a lot.
No, it's all love, and I appreciate you for sliding through, and hopefully 2-3 years from now, when you're doing bigger and greater things, we can tap in and then discuss things further. All right?
Sure, I'll be back.
All right, peace.